Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is River's Edge Cutlery, and we wanted to come to you today and talk a little bit about our experience at Blade Show 2023 in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're joined by Evan.
What's up, guys?
We got Riley.
What's up, guys?
And we got Noah.
What's going on?
And all four of us were there this weekend, and we wanted to recap some of the highlights, talk about our personal experiences, tell you some information about what's going on here at Rec, and then talk about future projects. So I'll kick it over to Riley. Riley's got an agenda all written out there. Why don't you tell us a little bit, Riley?
So to start things off, before the show, I mean, we were here. What time did we get here? It was like, I think we had to meet here at 5 o'clock or something. And we got everything out of the showroom that I helped getting. Shoot, what was I saying? Oh, whenever I'm on the spot.
What time did you guys get ready to head out of town?
I think I woke up at like 4:30. Dad came in and said, "Hey, it's time to go." I was like, "All right, it's time to go."
I heard some members of the team were still working all night long. Is that true?
Yeah, so Carl and Mike were here all night. They came home, said goodbye to their wives, and my dad picked me up and headed back to the shop. It was kind of crazy. And then after that, Mike drove for how many hours? And then Brian took over, and he drove for most of the way. But I just think it's pretty insane that they didn't sleep that night.
Yeah, they pretty much went the whole day on Thursday early, all the way until you guys left, or Wednesday night, I guess, all the way until you guys left on Thursday morning, which is crazy.
Yeah, and drove down there, finally made it to Blade Show. It's pretty hot and muggy out, like usual, hot Atlanta, as people seem to call it, but it's still pretty cool. It took us not very long to get set up. I don't know, maybe it's like less than an hour to get set up. We didn't really have that much stuff, though. 2 cases, just 1 booth. It's pretty chill.
Yeah, and while you guys were all setting up, I was on an airplane from Dallas. I had a road trip the week before, so I was meeting all the guys out in Atlanta, but my plane got delayed, so I couldn't help him set up. But yeah, I got an Uber to the Airbnb.
And then once Evan got to the Airbnb, we went out to dinner at the Terrapin Tavern. I think it's Terrapin. I don't know if Tavern's at the end of it. Pretty cool place. They got a brewery in there. Then moving on, day 2 of the show, woke up and we got bagels. Was that place called Bagel 101?
It's like 101 Bagels.
101 Bagels.
Is that a standard stop for you guys to go every year?
Yeah, pretty cool spot.
Nice.
And I think the main thing that sticks out about that place is that the ice cubes are actual coffee. So it's like iced coffee doesn't get watered down.
Yeah,
it's
that's
cool.
legit. That's how you do it.
That's the best part for sure. And the bagels they were really good too. So
yeah. After that, we headed to the show. Show opened at 9 o'clock. Early birds rushed in, and it was crazy. Yeah. Every year, like, it still amazes me, all the people that rush in there. This was Noah's first year. What did you think of that?
It was kind of crazy. Like, I never thought I'd experience anyone running towards something like that, but it was like just so cool how into like trying to get to the customs people were. Like, I mean, these dudes were in full-blown sprints, and they were going. Like, I don't think I'd ever run fast to spend a bunch of money. I don't know about you guys.
That's a good point.
For a lot of these builders, this is the one time a year where you can catch them in person, and you have a chance to get something through your own effort rather than being lucky in a lottery, you know, or answering an email in time in order to buy it. So, you know, it's super desirable. I can think of some of these makers that only bring 5 or 6 knives a year to the show, and it's first come, first serve. So you got to be the first one there.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, watching it from the outside, we didn't. A few of us didn't get early bird, but we were able to watch everybody kind of rush in, which was. It was so crazy. And even if we didn't get early bird, we were able to get in just a couple minutes after them. So that was kind of cool too.
Now, I was in the early bird line. I didn't have the benefit of a vendor badge. I was a civilian.
You weren't camping out though, were you?
I got there at 5.
Wow.
But I had a friend that was there at midnight.
That's wild.
Yeah, outside the building, what you found was a really awesome group of people that were really supportive. Everyone was friendly. Awesome. And you got to make friends with everybody around you in line.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the first several hundred people in line were basically there for just a handful of brands. One of them was Dark Timber. They make fixies and bowies and camping blades.
Super cool.
And their fans are just crazy about collecting them.
Yeah.
So before, were you still talking?
Another brand that was super hot was Demco. You could talk to people at the very front of the line. They were here for custom Demcos. So those were 2 really hot brands.
Right before 9 o'clock hit, Noah and I were standing right on the other side of the doors inside the show, recording it just to see all the people rushing in. It was pretty crazy. After that, we went back to our booth, and the first person at the booth was Rui. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty cool to see him fly all the way out from, I want to say Denmark.
He came all the way from Denmark and was first at the booth.
Yeah.
So those of you who didn't make it first, what up?
I know, that's crazy.
You had a shorter
what
run.
also is really crazy is even in the rec room, somebody had posted they were there the night before camping out. Like I couldn't
It's
even
insane.
imagine waiting. I don't know, but I can't imagine camping out for a knife like convention. I get it. I get why people do it, but that's just not me. It's crazy.
It's not the knife, man. It's the hang. They're
Yeah,
there for the
that's true.
friendship and the
That's true.
brotherhood. You can ask any of them, and they'll tell you the knife is fun, but it's the friendship.
Totally.
And I think on that first day, Noah stopped by ProTech, and you picked up a knife, didn't you?
Yeah, I snagged a pretty basic Malibu, black textured scales with stonewash blade. But stay tuned because I think me and Eric are cooking up something in the custom shop. Might try and match it to maybe some custom Harley paint or maybe some
Nice.
custom lowrider paint.
Super
That's
cool.
awesome.
That would
Yeah,
be
that's
sweet.
awesome.
And later that day, we did a little, I don't know if you want to call it social experiment. That's just kind of what I called it. But I put a sign on myself and I said, first person to bring me a Chick-fil-A sandwich gets a free knife. That knife was a Giant Mouse Nazca. It was pretty cool. It was cool to see people's reactions in that.
Yeah,
and
totally.
um,
What blew me away, honestly, it took a lot longer than we thought it would. It probably was like 45 minutes worth of film
yeah.
that we didn't actually include in the video. But
I
also,
can tell you why. It took 45 minutes to get the sandwich.
That's
Did
true,
you see the line
too.
at Chick-fil-A? It was bananas.
yeah, we'll have another story on that in a second. But what's crazy is like even there was so many people that didn't want to do it. They were like, whatever. Like
Yeah.
they'd read it and they'd be like, oh, good luck to the person that tries. But yeah, no, a lot of people didn't want to do it.
I think something we should have done is showcase the knife more before going out
Yeah.
and doing it because people said, oh, free knife. You know, they didn't really know. Like, it did say Giant Mouse on the sign. They didn't know which model or anything.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, though, when we got out. So we started this at the booth, and we didn't get a whole lot of attention. So we kind of made our way outside into the lobby, and we were going to start walking towards Chick-fil-A. As we got into the lobby, we received a whole lot more attention. There's a guy who said, man, we'll buy all three of you guys chicken sandwiches and french fries. I'm like, whoa, okay. So I was about to say, okay, let's just wrap this up and get our chicken sandwiches. He gets our knife. We all can eat, then we can go back. But kind of wanted to stick to the plan, and first person to bring me one was to get the sandwich.
Yeah, so actually the first guy that brought one had already eaten half of it.
Yeah.
He was like, he said, oh, the sign doesn't say a full new Chick-fil-A sandwich, but we were like, yeah, no.
You
That's
could
not
let
it.
him look at it, but he couldn't have it.
Exactly.
There was also another guy who brought us, it was like a Jimmy John's, or it was a full sub, like bigger than a Chick-fil-A sandwich. I was about to say, okay, maybe we should take that and scratch everything else.
Yeah,
And then Sweet Jessica showed up and saved the day, right?
totally.
Yep.
And what's funny is her and the guy that said that he was going to bring us 3 sandwiches, the guy that was bringing the 3 sandwiches was standing in line, and Jessica asked him if he'd buy her a sandwich and she'd pay him extra or whatever. And he was like, no, you're going to try and steal my knife. So she just went to the next person in line and had them buy it for her. She, $20 or something?
I think it was $20.
Yeah, and she
Wow.
like sprinted back over to us with the Chick-fil-A sandwich. That was really cool and just smart thinking, you know?
And then on top of that, the guy who was going to buy us 3 chicken sandwiches still bought us 3 chicken sandwiches. So we had
Oh,
4
that's
chicken
awesome.
sandwiches to munch
Yep,
on. It was pretty
totally.
good.
You probably had more to eat than your dad did.
Yeah.
Oh,
He probably went all
Yeah,
day
he-
with no food.
I don't know if he ate.
Yeah. We gave him stickers though, so that's okay. Everybody loves Rex stickers.
Then later on during that day, I wasn't really a part of this, but Matt from ProTech did a few really nice things to the guys' knives here at the shop. So they decided to get him a gift, and they bought him a tactile turn pen, took it to the custom shop, and they did a few green pieces on it. Looks super sick, and they ended up
That's
bringing
awesome.
that to Matt at ProTech. Were any of you guys associated with that?
Kind of. I mean, I didn't know about it until the day of, but it's cool because Matt always shops from Rec. He buys almost all of his knives here, is what he told us. Back before he even worked for ProTech, he called Brian and asked for a Hinderer pen, and we had it in stock, and he bought it from us. So that was, he said, the beginning of his pen collection. And ever since then, he always looks for cool pens, and so we thought it would be cool to, make him one and kind of just help that friendship keep growing. And yeah, and he loves tactile. He's friends with them as well, so he was super happy with it.
I'll tell you what, guys. In my knife collection, the knives that have good stories attached to them mean a lot more to me than the ones that don't.
The ones that you usually don't end up selling.
Like
Very cool.
I don't
Yeah,
like
totally.
if a friend sold it to me, or if I've customized it in a way, that makes it unique to me, or I don't know. If there's a tale attached, it's just way more fun to talk about. It makes me smile when I get it. So I can promise you that gift is dear to him. I'm sure of it.
Yep, totally. He carried it all 3 days too. Every
Awesome.
time we walked by, I'd see the little green and white pen sticking out of his pocket. So I know he really loved it.
Later on, that pretty much wraps up day one of the show, unless you guys have anything.
No, I mean, we just kind of headed back to the Airbnb, hung out, played pool with the boys.
We went out to eat.
Yep.
What a struggle it is to find
I
food
know.
in that area sometimes, because not only are there the however many thousands of people at the show, but it's just a busy place there.
Yep.
And
With 11 guys too, which is
and we had
or
11
10
people,
or
so it's hard to get a table at a place. So finding food is always a struggle.
For me and my gang, we ended up back at the Waverly Hotel, which is attached to the Galleria, and the turnout that night was pretty big. There were a lot of people in the pit that were hanging out. It's called the Pit. They're hanging out, and we had a large table on one side, and so Mike and Carl were there, and it was really neat because at one moment we had 4 knife store owners all in one place hanging out together.
Cool. It's cool.
We had knife fans hanging around. We had makers coming over. And what was really fun about it was like a microcosm of the whole hobby all in one spot. It was really fun. And it was a great time. It was getting a little loud and boisterous, but you could spot your favorite maker was down there hanging out,
awesome.
or people from your favorite company. People were approaching them and talking, lots of good conversations and lots of great knives to see.
I love how the dynamic between the different knife company owners is so mutual and friendly. It's kind of cool to talk to everyone and see how they run their shop.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like rising tide raises all ships, right? So when
one person does good, everybody does good.
Absolutely.
In this industry,
you want the best. You want the best. And in the end, you want the best for your competitor because that means it's just more excitement around the hobby.
Yeah. Jason, I have a question for you about the pit. So I know we went all day, all of us, talking about knives and whatever else with everybody. What is it like going to the pit where those same guys are still talking about knives? Do you get tired
the knife
of
talk never stops?
Yeah, do you get tired of it, or is it still kind of cool, or did you get to talk to people that you didn't get to talk to during the days,
As you wander around the lobby, and I'm talking a large lobby, it's big. If I had to guess, it's a square, maybe 150 feet by 150 feet, so it's a big space.
Gotcha.
And if in one corner you're going to find a curmudgeon of a knife maker holding court with 5 or 6 people, and he's just talking about something that's important to him, but it's kind of private, like you don't want to walk over. And then you go to another area, and there's like 12 dudes with 1,000 knives spread out across the table, and all of them are just waiting to talk about their knives, right? And so if you join them, you're going to see knives you've never even seen in person. Like, they have the sickest collections ever, and they're all year long they've been waiting for this moment to show them off. And then you'll see other people that are there to trade. So if you're interested in trading, then you hang out with those guys. And then over on the other side, you'll find people that are having meals together. Maybe they haven't seen each other since last Blade Show, so they're engaging with each other and they're having a moment together. So virtually any type of community you want to fit in with, you'll find them there. You'll find a bunch of Giant Mouse people talking to Giant Mouse, or Eric Lesser from Spyderco was at the pit. He was hanging out with his team. You could walk over to him anytime you wanted and say hey. He was happy to talk to everybody that walked up to him. I saw Tim Reeve in the pit. He's usually there every night. Tim Reeve is another person that's like an icon in the industry, right? And if you ever wanted to pick his brain about something, there he is. He's standing right there.
He's an open book too, which is nice.
He's an awesome guy. He'll talk to you about anything.
Super cool.
And with it being day one, I know I can say this personally, and I'm probably speaking for others too, but I was so tired by the time the show ended at 5 or 6 o'clock, whenever it ended. And the fact that people are in the pit all night doing that,
that's crazy.
They've got a pretty big passion for knives to be able to spend all that time with them.
The attitude you have to have is, I waited all year to be here. I'm exhausted. I'm bone tired. I got 4 hours sleep. I drove 10 hours. I got up at 4 a.m. and now I'm in line. I was at the show for 14 hours. And the answer is you just suck it up. Eat something, rest, maybe change your shoes, put on a new outfit or something like that. Grab your knife case, go to the pit. And I see it as an enhancement of the experience of the show.
Gotcha.
And it's like another level. It's much more social. So to me, if it's all about people, it's just more people.
So I don't know about you guys, but did you guys prep or plan at all for how much walking and on your feet you would be? Because I know for me, the the weeks prior, I was working nonstop with Carl and Mike, and we were on our feet pretty much nonstop all day long.
You did the whole show in Chacos too.
I did the
thought that
I
was
did the
pretty
whole
impressive.
show. Well, actually not Sunday, but yes, Friday and Saturday I did Chacos, but in short shorts. Yeah. How are you guys feeling? I guess after that long weekend, we're 2 days back. It's Tuesday, so how are you guys feeling? How are your feet? How are your feet? How are your legs? What are you thinking? I mean, I guess for the young guys, we don't know, but Jason, we'll see.
For
I was
nice
gonna say,
dad
I feel
over here.
fine.
Yeah.
By the way, all my friends were calling me dad all weekend, and I was telling them, shut up, go do their homework. So, Kenyon, is your homework done? For me, I bought 2 pairs of brand new shoes the week before, knowing that I was going to be on my feet a lot. And it's not like I went out of my way to add extra shoes. My shoes were old anyway because I bought them last year for Blade Show. See how that works?
Yep.
I
Totally.
tend to buy Memorial Day shoes knowing I'm going to use them
Did
at
you get
Blade
bad
Show.
blisters though from new shoes?
No.
Okay.
Buy good shoes. And
That's good.
what is it called? Cry one. What's it?
Buy once, cry once.
Buy once, cry once. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So get good stuff.
Yeah.
So new shoes helps. I always bring 2 or 3 pair because you want to trade them out day in, day out. You want to just take care of yourself, so stay hydrated. Usually before I'd crash for bed, I'd take a Advil or something to kind of help with pain relief or swelling. So even now, like we're 2 or 2 days later, and my legs still feel a little bit swollen,
Totally.
just from standing up a lot. It wasn't so much the walking, like everybody
Yep.
can walk, right? It's the standing on concrete, and if
Talking
you're
to people for an hour.
right, if you're not used to standing on concrete a lot, it's tough. And also, another thing is like you're bending. For me, I'm tall, and you're bending over these tables and knives. You get this stooping posture, and you're standing on the concrete. It just wears you out.
That's pretty much a wrap for Friday. Moving on to Saturday. Woke up early in the morning. It's like, man, I'm tired. Yesterday was a long day. But what I like about Saturday is that there's so many people. There's a lot of people on Friday, a whole lot of people. But Saturday, I feel like there's so many more people off of work, and the show is packed.
It was
So
crazy.
I get pretty pumped for that.
There's a ton of people that live within a 4 or 5 hour drive of Atlanta, and they can't get off work for Friday, but they're there Saturday. So it is definitely a lot busier.
That's something I like seeing. During Saturday, Evan and I did a little bit of walking around, and Evan was like, man, we should do a pocket dump with Peter Mckinnon. I was like, that would be really, really cool. Peter McKinnon is another YouTuber. He also has a brand called Pete's Pirate Life. Pretty sweet, super cool Instagram.
Yeah, I've followed him for a couple of years now on YouTube, and then he started this Pete's Pirate Life, like EDC
Shout
kind
out.
of brand. Yeah, shout out for sure. Super nice guy. His team is great. We actually ran into him just outside of his booth area.
It was a good thing that it was outside. The audio might have been a
Totally.
little better than in the show.
Totally, and he's always so good on camera. So his pocket dump, if you haven't checked it out, make sure to go check out our YouTube as well. Got the 3 videos up there for Blade Show.
Super cool. He gave us his time too.
Yep,
to be able
totally.
to do that.
Super simple guy too. I wasn't expecting it. I thought he'd whip out some nice, cool, super exclusive knife. I guess it was exclusive. It was his own knife, but yeah, it was a slip joint. I was expecting something different, but you know what? If that's what he likes, that's what he likes.
Later on during that show, so we're dropping this knife. It's a Spyderco Para 3 10V with the Coyote Brown scales. And a couple years ago, I got in this avocado costume, and then it was kind of like a thing. Oh, what costume are we gonna do for this knife? And we associated with the scorpion, so we got a scorpion costume. Didn't particularly want to get into it, but we ended up doing that. And
Your uncle kind of ordered the costume.
I had to wear it.
It had to have been a little kid's costume, but
Thank you, Brian.
I was gonna say, did he order it to fit his son Ollie or what?
Yeah.
Right?
So, guys, one day I was at the counter helping a customer, and Brian was in the back. And all of a sudden, you know how when you're at the counter, you can hear the door open?
Yeah.
So you almost reflexively, you look to the left to see who's coming out. And I looked to the left, and the door opened a little bit, and it's Brian. He put his head out, and he smiled at me. And then he held up just enough of the costume. I could see there was a claw. And I was like, yes.
Yep, that was.
it was
that
weird though
it.
because it had no pants. So
Yeah, it was like a waist up kind of costume.
yeah, and Riley almost decided to just go
Let's not try
no
with the
clothes on the
details.
bottom. So
Right. Anyways, we got in contact with Joe Flowers from Condor. He's always got his costume on him. It's a Godzilla costume. It's actually really cool. He says it's a collector's piece. I believe him. It's pretty sick.
doesn't work though.
Don't forget the Rebel Alliance.
Yep.
yeah.
And then
The
we went
Rebel
to
Alliance
Smoky
was
Mountain.
present.
Boys over at Smoky Mountain for
Yep.
sure.
We talked to
TC and the
them.
Rebel Alliance were in full effect. They were walking around promoting their new Microtech collab.
That's pretty cool.
And well, it just seemed like a good idea that maybe we could work together.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, totally.
So we decided to do a little tussle. We didn't really have a good plan, But Joe Flowers has all these ideas in his head. He's like, well, you're going to put me in a chokehold, and then TC's going to come in on the X-Wing and split us apart, and then they're going to shoot off. It's like, okay, perfect. We're going to do that. So we did it. It's kind of cheesy, but it was still pretty cool.
I still don't know how a Scorpion would have put a Godzilla in chokehold, but you know what? It works for
I believe in
for
Riley.
you guys. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I haven't met
totally.
Joe,
Right.
but my money's on Riley.
I want to take a second to say, man, those costumes that Smoky Mountain put together
Oh, yeah,
were
for
freaking
sure.
They were-
sweet.
I thought when I first saw them in the costumes, I was like, they're gonna wear those for 5 minutes, and then the more I looked at it, I went, no, those are actually pretty sweet. And
Yeah,
they
they're
wore
really
them
cool.
all day.
And then
Yep.
TC put that
2
helmet
days.
on.
2 days.
Yeah.
That helmet was
Yeah, the
really,
helmet.
really cool.
Well, and instead of carrying like ammo with them all the time, they carried pens and knives in where the ammo would have gone on
Yeah,
those costumes.
pretty
So
cool.
it was super cool to see.
Did he ask you, or did he say, "We're back to the daily grind"? Did he say that?
not to us, but I
Oh,
did watch
man.
his videos after the fact and heard it a couple times.
Nice.
After that, so I entered into this lotto with Pete's Pirate Life for one of his slip joints. I ended up winning. Evan
Did you
also,
really?
Yeah, I won as well.
well,
which-
both of us won.
Get outta here.
Kind of cool. So Evan got a fixed blade. Do you have it on you?
Yeah, I do have it on me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at that! It's like he planned it.
Yeah, the Pete's Pirate Knife. It was his first drop. I don't know what they're limited to. I have number 46, but I think there's probably around 1,000 of them.
If I
They're
was a
super
pirate,
hard
I'd
to
want
get.
that one.
Yeah, they're super cool though.
Pretty sweet.
It's not
And then
stones.
I got my call a little bit after Evan got his call, and I went there, checked out the slip joint. Really, really nice slip joint. One of,
Yep.
I want to say he said
13,
I think it was
14.
14.
He carried
Well,
one, so I think there was 13
he said
for
15 in the pocket dump.
sale. Yeah,
Yeah, there might have been 13 for sale.
yeah, something like that.
Really, really cool slip joint. Really nicely made.
American made.
American made. It was just cool. Custom, full custom. I ended up passing on it though. There was another slip joint that I was looking at by the maker of Arnold Bernard, which seemed to have some pretty big hype in the guys that we were talking to at the show. And that I was like, okay, that's the slip joint I want. Went back to the booth, and we were all hanging out there, and we're like, okay, let's go film me picking up this slip joint. As we're about to leave, my dad comes back and he says, hey, can you hold this knife? Sure. Hold out my hand. Huh. He just put an Arnold Bernard slip joint in my hand. It's like, wow, thank you. So that was really cool of him. Ended up picking that up for me. Saved me a lot of money, that's for sure.
I'll tell you what,
Totally.
guys. I don't even know, probably a dozen friends buy one also. That Arnaud Bernard line was phenomenal. I hope they see this and know, like, we really, really appreciated the quality, the design. They were beautiful.
Totally.
I wanted one, but I had already overspent my money during the trip. On the drive home, I was still thinking about it. I was kind of angry. One of my friends sent me a screenshot from Facebook. There was
saw
one for
that.
sale in the secondary, and I was just like, I'll take it.
Nice.
So
I really hope that they allow us to carry them in the store eventually. So
that would be sick.
yeah.
So we've talked about the knives we've got, but what'd you get, Jason?
What did I get? I got a couple of scorpions. I got
Nice.
a DLC scorpion and I got a satin scorpion. I got that Arnaud Bernard in the mail, and I picked up a Koenig.
Nice.
Got a Koenig Arius.
Nice.
So I waited in line with really no agenda. It was hanging with my buddies was the most important part. But when I got to the Koenig booth on Friday morning with my early bird, I looked at the table and they had a DLC coated, all DLC with a rose gold DLC,
Nice.
which is really crazy. I
Yeah,
know
it looks so good.
I know that the screw parts had to be sent to Europe in order to be coated, and it was the first time they've ever done that. I've never seen it in person. I thought it was amazing.
That is
So,
awesome.
I
South
couldn't say no.
African makers had a pretty huge impact
Oh,
on
yeah.
this show. Their work is insane. It was
Yeah,
cool.
they
Super
brought it this
good.
year. With COVID over, they were finally able to travel and they could come. South Africa was pretty locked down during COVID, I think.
Yeah. I got one more knife. I got an American Blade Works Model 1 with the Ultim scales. You know, those guys over there are great. We're going to pick up a few for the store here, so keep an eye out for those. And then I had Chad when we got back. Ultim kind of looks like Amber from Jurassic Park a little bit.
Oh, clever.
So I had him add a mosquito lasered onto the liners. It's extremely hard to see unless if you look at it, which is what I wanted. So if you guys want to see that up closer, we'll post it for
I
you
have
guys.
an idea for making the mosquito a little more bold.
How?
If we get some black acrylic paint and you wipe it into the mosquito and then wipe
true.
it off,
That would be
it'll
cool.
leave it. It'll
Yeah.
fill in the cracks with it.
Well, actually, no, it's annealed, so it's not engraved. So there's no actual missing metal.
Huh.
But
That's
I
cool.
kind of like how subtle it is because you can look at it and not see it, but if you look closely, it's super cool.
It's
Interesting.
super hidden, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
that was pretty much a wrap on Saturday. We ended up going to Wahlburgers for dinner. That place honestly impressed me. It was really, really
super good.
Food was there pretty quick, and we got right in. That was also really nice. We stopped by a couple different restaurants, and the wait was just way too long.
The secret is you want to get away from the campus
Right.
a little bit further, and then you don't really have any trouble.
Yeah.
Well, it helped when we split up too at Wahlburgers. Like we did like 3 different tables, so it really helped because we didn't have to worry about, hey, put us all together. I mean, you can really only talk to like a certain section of your table, so there's no point in having them group one table together. So that worked out really well.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Totally.
I was over at Punch Bowl Social, and we had one big table, and it wasn't all that great because you couldn't even begin to hear anybody even 2 seats over.
Totally. What? So, at the show, did you guys ever eat lunch? 'Cause I never did. I don't know if you guys ever.
Well, I
had
got that
a
Chick-fil-A
second.
sandwich.
That's true. We did too. I guess that does count.
Yeah.
We got
And
Subway one day.
Nice.
Evan and I got some Subway.
I didn't get Subway.
Or
It was you
yeah,
and me.
no, and I got Subway.
Gotcha.
You guys didn't have the shawarma?
No.
Who?
Dude, I had
Shawarma?
I had the shawarma.
Was that
It was
the Lebanese?
amazing.
Was that the Lebanese booth?
Yes, it was incredible.
I walked
wish,
past it when I got coffee, and
I
it
don't think
smelled
Riley
really
knows
good.
what that is.
I wish I could contact them and tell them how much I was starving to death, and Zach was with me, and Zach was starving to death. We were on our way for coffee, but we both went, man, we need lunch. So we stopped and we each
Totally.
got shawarma, and we went outside and ate it in the sun like kings. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
So, I guess we can go over some final thoughts on the show. I know I was busy all 3 days doing some talks with people and meeting a ton of different people and talking about USA made products and that kind of thing. What are y'all's final thoughts, I guess, on the show? I don't know who wants to go first.
So I
but-
think once like Sunday came around, I woke up that morning and I was like dead. I was like, oh my gosh, like the last 2 days were pretty draining. Sunday we got there, and there was still quite a bit of people, but not quite the crowd like Saturday. We ended up packing up a little bit early, but I still think like wrapping up the show as a whole, it was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Totally. Jason?
I mean, we can talk about the individual knives that were on all the tables and such. And if you guys go to the manufacturers, you can see that for yourself. You know, other knife stores are doing profiles on the things that they're getting in. We will be bringing that to you as time passes. But for me, it's about the people and the connections and the friendships and building relationships. That's my favorite part of the show. So when you're walking the floor, it's about running into old friends and connecting, or maybe even spending time with people. But it's actually not a great time to talk to the makers because they're so busy selling or vending that sometimes you don't get a word in. So that's why that experience in the hotel is nice, because they're not pressed to sell. That's where you have the opportunity to have those deeper conversations, ask questions about design, ask questions about, blade finishing, things like that. So it's sort of an enhancement of that first experience where you met people on the floor. And then, it's about follow-up after the show and then looking for them the next year. So
Totally.
every year I've run into more people that I know. I'm making new friends all the time. So this year really felt like a lot of people knew who I was, and, I was running into people that I'd made connections with 2 and 3 years ago.
It's cool.
So it's funny. It's like it's harder and harder to not go back once you go.
And going along with people, we have an employee, his name's Zach Cooper, who lives in Ashland, North Carolina, or is that South Carolina?
North
It's North Carolina.
I don't remember what city
I think it's
exactly.
Asheville.
I think he's close to
Oh,
Asheville.
gotcha.
I think it's called Zachtown.
Zach.
Right. Anyways, he was able to make it there with us. Since he worked remotely, we don't get to see him really a whole lot. He was at one of the meetups here about a month ago. Other than that, we really don't see him except for online video chats. So it was really cool to spend the weekend with him.
Yep.
Super down
He's
to earth, cool
super
guy.
cool. Great part of the team too. Great team player and everything.
I'm so glad he's here.
Yep.
He
I
got
am
some
too.
sweet knives.
He's so
Yeah.
knowledgeable about the industry, and his insights about what is popular, what is trending, who's
Totally.
new, who is upcoming. He's good about having his finger on the pulse of the industry.
Totally.
So
Jason, did you want to continue?
yeah, maybe we take a minute and talk about what's coming up soon.
Well, I have one more thing about Blade Show.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. So I know you've been. How many years have you been?
This is my 4th year.
4th year. How many have you been?
I don't know actually. Maybe 4 years, 2 years, 3 years.
something like that.
I've been here when we didn't have a booth, which was 3 years ago.
Gotcha.
So it's probably 3 years ago.
Okay, well, me and Noah have never been. Noah, I wanted to ask, what's your overall, like, if you were to give one piece of advice to people going for their first time, what would you say?
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in there, so like just making sure you're drinking water throughout the day is huge. And like if you're looking to buy, obviously have a plan.
Yep.
You know,
You're going to
come up with what you want. Like I walked in knowing what I was gonna get. Like I knew I was gonna get ProTech, and then I actually got a White River too. So
Yeah.
that was cool. I didn't plan that one, but just having some sort of plan and just knowing what you want to do for the weekend is really nice.
Yeah, I'd say around the same thing. My plan, funny enough, completely changed. Like I thought I was going to buy 2 other knives and ended up with 2 completely different knives. And I always wanted one of Pete's knives, so the fact that I won that lotto was enough for me to go buy it. So, yeah, anyways, next thing. What were you going to say?
If I had to give any advice for attending, yeah, hydrated is awesome.
Yeah.
Be aware that you're going to be on your feet a lot. Get sleep where you can. But remember, like, you're only there once a year. So make the best of the opportunities you have. Take advantage of the insights and the knowledge in the building. You know, whether you're a maker or you're a collector or you're a user, or maybe even you thinking about getting into the industry. This is the best place to go to meet and network. So it's great. The relationships that you can build can last a long time.
Yeah, definitely talk to people. They want to talk. They want to tell you how they designed a knife or how they whatever. You know, people love it.
Definitely don't drive all the way there and then not talk to your heroes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk to them.
Yep, they're more than willing.
Well, I think we've wrapped that up, but you guys are probably interested to know what's next for us and what did we bring back from the show. Well, we did happen to walk around and buy some really cool stuff. We've got some interesting pieces that we're going to be telling you about over the next couple of days. We're going to put together some really good photography and some reels and some posts about those items, and we're going to try to do one a day.
Starting Thursday.
Starting Thursday.
So after the release of the Para 3 Scorpion, starting Thursday, we'll have our first release of what we brought back from Blade Show.
Gotcha.
Going all the way up, we have enough to fill up until next Friday.
Wow.
So we'll have like over a week's worth of content for you guys of just stuff we brought back from Blade Show.
That's awesome.
The 8 Days of Blade Show. Yeah, we're gonna bring you guys some cool stuff. So if you follow us in the Rec Room on Instagram, it's the best place to go.
Yep.
We also have our weekly newsletter you can sign up for on riversedgecutlery.com. Newsletter goes out every Friday at noon. It's another great place to find out what's going on.
Speaking of weekly, Noah, do you have any plans for the social media / YouTube? Maybe weekly, maybe monthly, maybe I don't even know. Maybe once in a year. I have no clue at this point.
No. Once Riley leaves, we're done. I just. What do you guys want to see? We want to bring the rec report back.
Yep.
We want to bring in some people, talk to them, talk about the industry, just things like that. But like, if you want to see what's going on at rec, or like what say me and Evan do like on a down day or something like that. Like I know you like camping.
Yep.
I go ride motorcycles. You also fish too.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, do you want to come along for stuff like that? Like we're willing to bring you with us. Just day in life of the rec guys.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Shop tours, just pocket dumps, whatever you guys want. I know Jason probably has some ideas as well.
Yeah, definitely. Coming soon, post Blade Show. Noah and I will be building a studio in the building. We have the space ready to go. It's just not built out. So we want to have a space where we can have dedicated content creation, and we intend to bring you a lot more content. I got a funny comment the other day on one of my weekly blasts. Somebody was like, "This content's terrible. Bring back the old stuff." I agree. I'm mildly entertaining at best, and a weekly update about like what's going on in the store is probably not compelling.
You're just not as handsome as Riley. That's all.
I'm
I was
not
going to
as
say, good
handsome
thing
as
we're
Riley.
sitting here because
I'm taller than Riley, but I'm not handsomer. I'm older. But yeah, we'll be bringing you more of the content you're familiar with. But Riley, maybe you tell us why the content dry up. What happened?
So about a year ago, a little bit less than a year ago, I decided I wanted to start flying airplanes, and I ended up getting into a school out in Oregon. So I live in Central Oregon, Bend to be more specific, actually pretty close to Thomas More. So that's kind of cool. And I've been flying airplanes out there and doing school. So with that being said, I also left River's Edge. I don't work here anymore. I had a little break in between some ratings, so I had the opportunity to come back to Ohio. which also gave me the opportunity to come to Blade Show, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, congratulations on the
Yeah.
career change. That's
Yeah, for
amazing.
sure.
I'm kind of jealous. It sounds
I
incredible.
am too. I want to get into that, but I'll never be able to afford it. So
Yeah.
So if you've ever wondered why Rec Report and Mental Strop and those other content pieces dried up, that's why.
well, also the new shop too. I guess moving in here, it
New
got
shop
this-
and other Evan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, bad Evan.
It's
Bad
big
Evan
bad
left.
Evan now.
The other half, or more than half, of the content creation that used to happen was with Evan Rogers, and he decided to make another career change, and he is now working for the police,
Columbus Police
Columbus
Department.
Police
Yep.
Department. He's currently in
Like
training.
academy or whatever?
He's in
Yeah.
the academy.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so he'll be around. I mean, he might make his appearance here and there, but
It's gonna be a minute. I
Yeah,
mean, he
we might
doesn't
have a
graduate
legacy
until
visit.
December.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I mean,
We'll put the
no
band
better
back
way
together.
to leave. He's going to serve, so that's what's awesome.
Absolutely. Can't begrudge that.
Totally.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate it. And we just wanted to bring this to you because it's all fresh in our minds. It's all we've been talking about
Yep.
all day. And so
We're all still trying to, gain those pounds back that we walked off
Yeah,
while
we're
we were
still
at Blade
stretching it
Show.
out.
So
I haven't even unpacked my book bag.
I
from the
haven't either.
weekend.
My bag is completely packed still. So
That's crazy.
one last piece. We've got an exclusive Spider Co dropping tomorrow at noon. So that'll be June 7th. For those of you who don't know, June 7th at noon Eastern time, you'll be able to get the knife. It's a pair of 3 10V steel DLC coated with Coyote Brown handles.
when does the satin one? Or we don't know yet. I guess I
We do
should
have a
say.
satin. You guys
Yep.
probably know that by now. We have a satin that's available that is partially shipped, but not completely shipped.
Gotcha.
Until we have them all, we're not going to do a drop. I don't want to drop it twice. And I'm sure you guys don't want to have a panic attack when you try to buy a really small quantity and find out that they're sold out. So
Yep.
we'll wait until we have them all.
There's also a slight possibility that this video may be up after that knife drops. We'll see.
Oh, I
I'll get
forgot
it
about
up.
the
I'll get
editing.
it up today.
Okay.
Sounds good to
Oh,
me.
challenge accepted.
Make sure to share this too with all your knife homies. And yeah,
Like, follow, subscribe, click the bell.
You think anyone made it this far in the video?
I
doubt
really
it.
hope
My
so.
mom's watching this.
if you did, comment down below and
Shout out
and
Grandma. I know she's watching this whole thing.
comment down below and
Eric's
put
dad's watching.
hashtag Scorpion because that's
Yeah.
how we know you made it all the way through.
Put a scorpion emoji at the
There
end.
you go. There you go.
That'll do it.
Alrighty, boys.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for
Yep.
joining.
I'm Evan.
Riley.
Noah.
And Jason.
We'll
See
catch you
ya.
guys next time.
Thanks.